Already surrounded by this mad city, the caterpillar goes to work on the cocoon, which institutionalizes him. He can no longer see past his own thoughts. He's trapped. When trapped inside these walls, certain ideas take root, such as going home and bringing back new concepts to this mad city. The result? Wings begin to emerge, breaking the cycle of feeling stagnant. Finally free, the butterfly sheds light on situations that the caterpillar never considered, ending the internal struggle. Although the butterfly and caterpillar are completely different, they are one and the same. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you for not spoiling anything for me. These last couple months since I listened to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers have been insane. I got a lot more comments, a lot more views, a lot more eyes than I originally anticipated, and I'm just grateful that I came across the right group of people who are encouraging me to listen to this rather than gatekeeping or spoiling. So, okay, I don't know. I've been procrastinating all morning. It's been like an hour that I've been sitting here. Let's just, let's just get started.
Every nigga is a star. Every nigga is a star. Every nigga is a star. Hit me! When the four corners of
I don't think I've yet heard a hip-hop album start off with funk, and funk in a minor key at that. Despite upbeat lyrics about Kendrick's egocentric success, the instrumental is leering, like a warning that Kendrick should never let his guard down.
to pimp a butterfly. At first I did love you, but I just wanna fuck.
Oh my god. Okay, the bass, insane, and I just saw that it was produced by Thundercats, so not surprised. Oh, wow. Okay.
Got $1 million check like that. We should never get, we should never get niggas money.
Capitalism thrives on the exploitation of the lower classes. Uncle Sam, or US capitalism, was built on racism and slavery. At the same time, it seems like Kendrick is making an allusion to the pimping of musicians by the music industry.
At first I did love you, but I just wanna fuck.
I get that the chorus is supposed to be about his relationship with music, but the last couple lines are still unclear to me. Bridges burned and what for? Is he referring to cutting ties with his old life?
You was my first girlfriend, bridges burned.
To pursue music, he had to leave Compton, a decision he later comes to regret.
But what for?
Yo, what's up? It's Dre. Remember the first time you came out to the house?
Okay, I think that he's referring to, wasn't it Dre that he went to record Compton, and they just like got along so quickly and started recording? If it's not Dre, I'm just gonna cut that out of the edit. But I really like that messaging. A lot of spotlight, mine included, like even though mine is not nearly to the reach of Kendrick, but it's mostly luck, which does have a lot to do with like being in the right place at the right time. But once you get it, keeping it is really hard. That's why you should never take things for granted, and that's why you should always try your best.
Don't have receipts. That's fine. Pay me later. Wear those gaiters. Cliche and say fuck your haters. I can see the bottle in you. I can see the dollar in you. Little white lies, but it's no white collar in you. But it's whatever though, because I'm still following you. Because you never think your mind Texas would deny how Wesley sniped your ass before 35.
Okay, maybe it might help to know who Wesley is because the song is called Wesley's Theory, so whoa, stacked portfolio. I'm guessing what's relevant to the song though is that he was sentenced to jail for, oh my god, $23 million in federal tax liabilities.
We should never get, we should never get niggas money.
Wow. Anna Wise and Whitney Alford on that outro. I can already tell this is going to be so much to dive into.
You motherfucker. You a hoe ass nigga. I don't know why you tryna go big, nigga. You ain't shit. Walking around like you God's gift to earth. Nigga, you ain't shit.
This track seems to be a tongue-in-cheek commentary of the state of modern society, with Kendrick poking fun at the many ways in which people are willing to compromise their principles to get ahead.
Free. You looking at me like it ain't a receipt, like I never made ends meet, eating
Holy
your
shit.
leftovers and raw meat. This dick ain't free. I need 40 acres and a mule, not a 40 ounce in a pit bull. Bullshit. Matador, had a door knocking. Let him in. Who's that? Genitals best friend. This dick ain't free. Matter of fact, it need interest. Matter of fact, it's 9 inches. Matter of fact, see your friendship based on business. Pinching, more pinching, your pinching.
It's extremely sharp and witty, covering a wide range of topics in a short span of time. It's information overload, on top of playful jazz polyphony.
Endorsement left me dormant, dusted, doomed, disgusted, forced with fuck you figures some more shit. Porcelain pipes, pressure, busting twice, choices, devastated, decapitated, the horseman. Oh, America, you bad bitch. I picked cotton and made you rich. Now my dick ain't free.
I'ma get my Uncle Sam to fuck you up. You ain't no king.
Oh my god, I feel like I have to listen to that at like 0.5 times speed. Seriously, thank you for not spoiling this for me. I had no idea that this was going to be so jazzy. I imagine him giving that like live. Oh my god.
I got a bone to pick. I don't want you monkey mouth motherfucker sitting in my throne again. Oh yeah, bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off him. When you got the yams, what's the yams? But a rapper with a ghost rider. What the fuck happened? Oh no, bitch, where you and I was walking.
The funky beat and the call and response between Kendrick and the backing vocalists are just so fun. This one was played out at the Steppers tour, and I had only listened to it once at that point, but I could still participate and be one with the crowd.
King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off him.
Goat mouth mammy fuck.
I was gonna kill a couple rappers, but they did it to themselves. Everybody's suicidal, they didn't even need my help.
By the time you hear the next pop, the funk shall be within you.
Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off.
Oh my god. Kendrick noted that the beat of King Kunta is from Get Naked by Mossberg, another Compton kid, but his life was cut short before reaching his full potential when he was shot and killed at age 21. One thing I'm loving about hip-hop is that it uses a lot of samples, inspiration, and tributes. It's really a melting pot of art and creativity.
Man, if I give you the funk, you gon' take it.
We want the funk! I remember you was conflicted, misusing your influence.
Oh, it's kind of crazy how much he packs into this. I'm kind of scared for my comprehension skills, really putting it to the test. Oh, that's so harsh.
What money got to do with it when I don't know the full definition of a rap image? Hold up.
Master, take the chains off me.
Biting my style, you salmonella poison positive.
Much like how a butterfly can't go back to being a caterpillar after metamorphosis, you can't really go back to a normal life after the immense fame and success Kendrick has experienced. But just because Kendrick's life is better today doesn't mean that he can erase 25 years that he lived in Compton, a place rife with violence, gang politics, and abject poverty.
Work, follow it. Remind me of the homies that used to know me. Now follow this. I tell you my hypothesis. I'm probably just way too loyal. K-Dizzle would do it for you. My niggas think I'm a god. Truthfully, all of them spoil. Usually you're never charged, but something came over you once I took you to them fucking BET Awards. Shit don't change until you get up and wash your ass, nigga. Shit don't change until you get up and wash your ass. Boy.
Kendrick discusses systemic racism and discrimination and how it can deeply impact people within a community. He uses an example of a time he took his friend, another caterpillar from Compton, to the BET Awards where he was still institutionalized, still in a poverty mindset, and looking for ways to pimp the butterflies at the event.
Stood a little nigga, he was 5 foot something. Dazed and confused, talented but still under the neighborhood rules. You can take your boy out the hood, but you can't take the hood off the homie.
Wow, thank you, Snoop Dogg. I think I also saw he just won something for the BET Awards for Mr. Morale, right? Am I making that up? I don't know. I'm kind of confused about the title of this one because it's called Institutionalized. I don't know. I'm also scared of like giving the wrong first impression, but I guess that's kind of the point of this channel. It seems more like they're dreaming or romanticizing like what you could do with more money. I don't know. And then maybe the chorus is like, actually having money doesn't solve the problem. It depends on what you do with it. Money solves a lot of problems, so especially in very low income places, but you do still have to be responsible with it, because if you're not, and it's super easy, like you've seen how money corrupts people, right? Turns them greedy. I think he did also talk about that in Damn a little bit. Anyway, money solves some problems, causes a lot more. I know I've mentioned this before, but Anna and Kendrick have the best creative friendship. I love seeing her name pop up here and there across the albums.
Sex. She just wanna close her eyes and sweat. With you. Everyone just searching like to play. She plays. Only when you're telling them if these walls could talk. I can feel your rain when it cries.
The wall can talk, they tell me to swim good.
It completely flew over my head that the second verse is about the walls of a woman's vagina. I just took it as these walls of maybe a hotel room behind closed doors because they weren't supposed to be together. If these walls could talk, it would shed light on their infidelity.
I can feel your rain when it cries. Gold lives inside of you. I love it when I'm in it. I love it when I'm in it.
Oh, Thundercat's on this one too.
If your walls can talk, they tell you it's too late. Your destiny accepted, your fate.
What a mindfuck it is to switch from the woman's vaginal walls to the prison cell walls of the man she loves and is cheating on. It really shows us some of Kendrick's lowest points, misusing his influence.
Criminal got indicted same night. So when you play the song, rewind the first verse. About me abusing my power so you can hurt. About me and her in the shower whenever she horny. About me and her in the after hours of the morning.
Walls can talk.
I remember you was conflicted, misusing your influence. Sometimes I did the same, abusing my power full of resentment that turned into a deep depression. Found myself screaming.
I don't know why I keep skipping the ends of songs, but he says, found myself screaming in a hotel room, and then he cries. I have the inclination to so usually when I do these videos, I listen through first, give my first impressions, but this one is making me want to stop and research while I'm listening to it, because a lot of it is flying over my head, and a lot of it I'm like, I have a feeling that this is kind of similar to how he viewed sex in Mr. Morale, which is specifically retaliation, but through this other girl with her whole situation and him. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, so as I'm listening to this, it's making me want to go and do research. I want to click so badly on these Genius annotations, but I'm going to keep that for my shallow dive afterward. Kendrick has said that You was one of the most challenging songs he's ever written, but that it has also helped him heal. He draws on his own guilt and his dark internal thoughts and shows a side of him we've never seen before. Who would have thought that King Kunta, or King Kendrick, was struggling with self-hatred and suicidal ideation?
I place blame when you steal, place shame when you steal. Situation I start with your little sister baking. A baby aside, just a teenager. Where your patience? What was your antennas? What was the influence you speak of? You preached in front of 100,000 but never reached up. I fucking tell you, fucking failure. You ain't no leader. I never liked you, forever despised you. I don't need you. Thought money would change you, made you more complacent. Fucking hate you. I hope you embrace it. I swear, loving you is complicated. Loving you is complicated. Loving you is complicated. Loving you is complicated. Loving you is complicated.
Oh my god, this distortion and the panning.
You the reason why mama and them leaving. No, you ain't shit. You say you love them. I know you don't mean it. I know you irresponsible, selfish, in denial. Can't help it. Your trials and tribulations are burden
and everyone felt it. A friend never leave Compton for profit or leave his best friend, little brother. You promised you watch him before they shot him. Where was your antennas? On the road, bottles and benches. You FaceTimed the one time, that's unforgiving. You even FaceTimed instead of a hospital visit. Guess you thought he'd recover well. Third surgery.
He talked about this event a little bit in Mr. Morale, huh? I don't remember the story exactly because it was like a one line. So I didn't dig too deep, but man, this really got to him, huh?
You ain't tried.
And his voice.
And if this bottle could talk, I cry myself to sleep, bitch. Everything is your fault.
The second half of the song, the one that really got me, has credits attributed to Who Are I, and there are tons of vocal intricacies from Bilal, Jessica Vilmez, and SZA, which I thought was interesting since I'm thinking of reacting to her stuff eventually.
I'm fucked up, but I ain't as fucked up as you. You just can't get right. I think your heart made a bulletproof. Should've killed your ass long time ago. You should've filled that black revolver blast long time ago. And if this marriage could talk, it'll say you gotta go. And if I told your secrets, the world of no money can't stop a suicidal weakness.
Oh my god, so many emotions in this one. Like actual hatred for himself. I know depression is rested on your heart for 2 reasons. That's so... oh my god.
All's my life I has to fight, nigga. I'm fucked up, homie, you fucked up. But if God got us, then we gon' be alright.
Nigga, we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Huh? We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright.
And when I wake up, I recognize you looking at me for the pay cut.
It's always so jarring right after You, but Alright is such a powerful and politically charged piece that resonated with many people protesting against police brutality and systemic racism at the time. The song's upbeat and energetic tone made it the perfect anthem and rallying cry for the Black Lives Matter movement.
Been down before, nigga, when our pride was low, looking at the world like where do we go, nigga, and we hate po-po, wanna kill us dead in the street for sure. Nigga, I'm at the preacher's door. My knees getting weak and my gun might blow, but we gon' be alright.
Nigga, we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright.
It was such a special, sacred moment for me when he played out this song at the Steppers tour. I'd only listened to it once at the time of the concert, but everyone around me knew it by heart. Everyone was singing along. It was touching that I had tears welling up. I couldn't help myself.
What you want? You a house, you a car, 40 acres and a mule, a piano, a guitar, anything. See, my name is Lucy, I'm your dog. Motherfucker, you can live at the mall. Thinking of my partner, put the candy painting on a Rico, digging in my pocket, ain't a profit big enough to feed you every day. My logic, get another dollar just to keep you in the presence of your Chico. I don't talk about it, be about it. Every day I sequel. If I got it, then you know you got it. Heaven, I can reach you.
Wanna be as complicated, too afraid of life changes. I'm alright in your favor. Dark nights and my prayers.
I remember you was conflicted, misusing your influence. Sometimes I did the same, abusing my power full of resentment that turned into a deep depression. Found myself screaming in the hotel room. I didn't want to self-destruct. The evils of Lucy was all around me.
Oh my god.
So I went running for answers.
Oh my god. Is this gonna keep building, like this spoken word? Oh, it does say poem. That's so creative. Like, just throughout the album building this up. The evils of Lucy, I'm assuming Lucifer. This is such an uplifting song, especially right after You. Oh my god. And then this was the line that Fox News quoted and said that they didn't like it. I like it. I really, really like it. Oh. Wait, he did a video with Rick Rubin? I will have to watch that later. This track feels like a dream sequence, and it's so pretty, with the temptations of Lucy all around us. I don't know if it was intentional, but the song has a very shimmering quality to it, which is fitting given that the name Lucifer means the Shining One.
I remember you took me to a mall last week, baby. You looked me in my eyes about 4 or 5 times till I was hypnotized, then you clarified that I want you. You said Sherane ain't got nothing on Lucy. I said, you crazy? Rose are red, violets are blue, but me and you both pushing up daisies if I Kendrick, Lucy don't slack a minute. Lucy work harder, Lucy gon' call you even when Lucy know you love your father. I'm Lucy. I loosely heard prayers on your first album, truly. Lucy don't mind, cause at the end of the day you'll pursue me. Lucy go get it, Lucy not timid, Lucy up front. Lucy got paperwork on top of paperwork. I want
This is so pretty. The outro bells will randomly ring in my head, and I'll think it's real, expecting the poem to be read aloud in the most random places. On the metro, in the store, in my dreams.
Found myself screaming in the hotel room. I didn't want to self-destruct. The evils of Lucy was all around me. So I went running for answers. Until I came home.
I didn't realize it on first listen, but many of the songs on To Pimp a Butterfly were inspired by a trip Kendrick took to South Africa, which he considers his motherland, Mama. Considering he didn't leave Compton until right around the time Good Kid, Mad City came out, this must have been a profoundly eye-opening experience for him.
Scribbling, scratching, diligent sentences backwards, visiting freestyle ciphers for your reaction.
Wow.
Now I can live in a stadium, pack it the fast. I know everything, know myself, I know morality, spirituality, good and bad health.
Oh my god. This actually reminds me of Mother I Sober, which is kind of fitting because this song is called Mama. But instead of I know everything, I think it was I feel everything, or I heal everybody. I don't know if that's relevant or if I'm just pulling from thin air, but that's my immediate thought.
I met a little boy that resembled my features. Nappy afro, gap in his smile, hand-me-down sneakers bounce through the crowd. Running number home men and woman that crossed him. You just forgot because of what public schools had painted. Oh, I forgot, don't kill my vibe, that's right, you're famous. I used to watch on Channel 5, TV was taken. But never mind, you're here right now, don't you mistake it. It's just a new trip and come back home.
Part 2. On a personal note, even though I don't feel super attached to my Asian heritage, I have definitely felt the need to connect to my roots. I think it's a part of growing up and realizing that the world is bigger than what you're surrounded by right now.
Is it in a woman, is it in money or man? Tell me something, got me losing my mind. You make me wanna jump, let's talk about jump, let's talk about jump. I found you back in the ghetto when I was 17 with the 30th special. Maybe you in the dollar bill, maybe you're not real, maybe only the wealthy get to know how you feel. Maybe you're paranoid, maybe I don't need you anyway. Don't lie to me, I'm suicidal anything. I can make you have again, I can preach for you if you tell me what the matter.
Oh, the fade out. Man, this description is so endearing. Like, you can tell that meant a lot to him.
K-Dot, pick up the phone, nigga. Every time I call, I go to voicemail. Call me on Shanika's phone.
I've been A1 since day one, you niggas boo-boo. Your homeboy, you block that you're from, boo-boo. Lil' hoe, skip, hop, drip, drop, flip, flop with the white tube sock. It go. That's what the products smell like when the chemicals mix.
What I took from this song is that it's going to be difficult to make change, and as Rolling Stone put it, shit is fucked up from Compton to Congress.
Set tripping all around. Ain't nothing new but a fluid new demo Crips and red blood against red state versus a blue state. Which one you governing?
Demo Crips and Blood Dickens. Wow, it's crazy that he made that work. I'm confused though. He said he doesn't want to talk politics, but I've heard him speak a lot about politics, including now. I wonder if that's just like, I don't know. I feel like the main message, at least while I was growing up, was like, oh, I hate politics. I hate talking about politics. But now that I'm older, everyone's realizing politics are kind of everything. So you have to pay attention now.
Obama say what it do.
Obama say what it do.
I had never heard the term conscious rap before researching this album. This subgenre is known for addressing social issues, political themes, and personal struggles. I think this is something I'd like to dive more into, so if you have other artist suggestions who do something similar, let me know. J. Cole, Common, and Tupac seem to be other popular conscious rap artists.
My memory been gone since. Don't ask about no camera blocking at award shows. I'm the only nigga next to Snoop that can push the button. Had the coast on standby. Kid out, what up? I heard they opened up Pandora's box. I boxed them all in by a landslide. Nah, homie, we too sensitive. It spill out to the streets. I make the call and get the coast involved. The history repeat. But I resolved inside their private heart while sitting down with Jay.
Some people have asked, and there are a few reasons why I haven't heard of Kendrick Lamar before this series, but the most relevant one is that I was raised in a religious household and was repeatedly warned to stay away from rap music because it was devil music, and that certainly wouldn't help me grow spiritually. But actually, the more I get into it, the more I believe that these stories and experiences are critical for people to discuss and hear about.
Hotel room. So I went running for answers until I came home. But that didn't stop survivor's guilt. Going back and forth trying to convince myself the stripes I earned. Or maybe how A1 my foundation was. But while my loved ones was fighting a continuous war back in the city, I was entering a new one. How much a dollar really costs? The question is detrimental, paralyzed in my
I was re-listening to this song while on a walk, and I felt like the beat and the horns made it 1,000,000 times more dramatic. The song challenges the notion that material wealth is the most important measure of a person's worth, and instead argues that true value comes from empathy and compassion.
Listen to me, I want a single bill from you, nothing less, nothing more. I told him I didn't have it, then closed my door. Tell me how much a dollar cost.
Whoa.
He's staring at me in disbelief. My temper is building. He's staring at me. I grabbed my key. He's staring at me. I started the car, then I tried to leave. Laser. He's staring at me. I noticed that his stare is contagious. Cause now I'm staring back.
Exodus 14 is the story of the Israelites' escape from slavery in Egypt. They're trapped between the Pharaoh's army and the Red Sea, afraid that they will be killed. But God chose Moses to lead, asked him to put his faith in him, and worked through him to part the Red Sea so the Israelites could cross to freedom.
Finally asked, have you ever opened up Exodus 14? A humble man is all that we ever need. Tell me how much a dollar cost.
I do really appreciate when I can follow along and it's just like one story instead of a million things.
My selfishness is what got me here. Who the fuck I'm kidding? So I'ma tell you like I told the last bum. Crumbs and pennies, I need all of mine. And I recognize this type of panhandling all the time. I got better judgment. I know when niggas hustling. Keep in mind, when I was struggling, I did compromise.
So I think the allusion to Exodus 14 is meant to foreshadow God's selection of Kendrick as a humble leader and the subsequent use of Kendrick's voice, talents, and platform for good. And yeah, I did dust off my trusty Old Testament to look up the scripture.
I see you from a mile away, losing focus, and I'm insensitive, and I lack empathy. He looked at me and said, your potential is bittersweet. I looked at him and said, every nickel is mine to keep. He looked at me and said, know the truth, it'll set you free. You looking at the Messiah, the Son of Jehovah, the higher power, the choir that spoke the word, the Holy Spirit, the nerve of Nazareth. And I tell you just how much a dollar cost. The price of having a spot in heaven, embrace your loss, I am God.
I wash my hands, I said my grace. What more do you want from me? Tears of a cloud, guess I'm not all what it's meant to be. Shades of gray will never change if I condone. Turn this page, help me change to right my wrong.
Wow, I kind of felt like something like that was going to happen because he was putting so much emphasis on this guy that was asking for $1. But also, I feel like it's not that uncommon of a story. Sometimes it's not the opposite, but like instead of God, it would be a witch, right? Who would curse you. I mean, the story has been told before, but still told very beautifully. I like that one a lot.
Complexion.
I was so silent for the next 3 tracks during my initial reaction. I am so sorry. Well, at least we have the voiceovers, right?
dark as the midnight hour, her bright as the morning sun. Give a fuck about your complexion, I know what the German's done. I made a flower for you out of cotton just to chill with you. You know I go the distance, you know I'm 10 toes down even if...
The first time I heard the saying 10 toes down was on Flower Boy, and apparently it just means to be incredibly committed or devoted to something.
I came to where you reside and looked around and seen more sights for sore eyes. Let the Willie Lynch theory reverse a million times with complexion. Complexion don't mean a thing.
For this one, I was really trying to understand how complexion would fit in the greater narrative, and I like Dissect Podcast's interpretation that Kendrick was humbled by what happened with God and used the next few tracks to speak to his community.
Let me talk my Stu Scott. Excuse me on my Tupac. Keep your head up, when did you stop? Love and die. Color of your skin, color of your eyes.
I'm glad Kendrick brought Rhapsody on to lend her powerful voice and experience to this song. She adds a new layer of depth and emotion that speaks directly to Kendrick's intention to address the impact of skin tone on young black women.
Brown hazelnut, cinnamon, black tea. And it's all beautiful to me. Call your brothers magnificent, call all the sisters queens. We all on the same team, blues and pyrus, no colors ain't a thing.
Beauty is more than skin deep, and that's something that's emphasized by the soulful soundscape and the layering with the background vocals.
Barefoot babies with no care. I don't see Compton, I see something much worse. The land of the landmines, the hell that's on earth.
Wow.
Down to our knees, press to the ground. We don't believe.
Let me know if I'm wrong on this one, but I think complexion and the blacker the berry are foils to each other. Both are about race and the color of your skin, but complexion is framed more upliftingly, embracing yourself. The blacker the berry depicts Kendrick's own experience with more aggressive frustration. Not only is there colorism within the community, but there is also racism across the entire spectrum of skin tones and a long history behind it.
I'm the biggest hypocrite in 2015. Once I finish this, witnesses will convey just what I mean. Been feeling this way since I was 16. Came to my senses. You never liked this anyway. Fuck your friendship, I meant it. I'm African American. I'm black as the moon. Heritage of
The overdrive beat and powerful bass line set up the perfect backdrop for Kendrick and Assassin's expressive features.
Emancipation of a real nigga.
The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. The blacker the berry, the bigger the juice.
I saw them treat me like a slave, got me black. Boy, me feel one heap of pain, got me black. I'm an I them put me in a chain, got me black. I'm a now, every race start from the black. Don't remember that.
I'm the biggest hypocrite in 2015. When I finish this, if you listen, then sure you will agree. This plot is bigger than me. It's generational hatred. It's cynicism, it's grimy, little justification. So no matter how much I say I like to preach with the Panthers or tell Georgia State...
As soon as he heard about Trayvon Martin, 16 years old, being shot and killed, he was inspired to write this song. I remember that it caused such an uproar. It was all too real for many black people in America, Kendrick included.
Cause urban support is important. So why did I weep when Trayvon Martin was in the street? When gang banging make me kill a nigga blacker than me. Hypocrite.
Holy shit. And that tension and release, the build-up and the explosion, the actual goddamn mic drop. Speechless. My chest is literally so tight right now. The transition to this breather track was beautiful. In contrast, I mostly just sat there and mulled over what I just experienced on the previous song.
I can spot you a mile away. I can see your insecurities spitting all on your face. Ask where the hoes at to impress me. Ask where the money bags to impress me. Say you got the burner stash to impress me. It's all in your head, homie.
I think the cohesive tie-in to the album is that it's based off of a song by Tupac called Lie to Kick It, and it's his matured outlook on how he was, let's say at age 16, and exploring the art of peer pressure, though sonically it reminds me more of Real.
The truth, you love the bend in the back and the bed on the floor. That's your hoe on the couch in the mouth. I'll be out, really don't. See loud rich niggas got low money.
It's a very explicit track that says, despite peer pressure to act or look a certain way, you should be honest and authentic in your actions and words and stay true to yourself.
Came back just to give you some game.
One, two, what's happening, fool?
Come on out.
I done been through a whole lot. Tried tribulation, but I know God. Waiting on me, gon' never drown me. In front of a dirty double mirror, they found me. And I love my and when you're looking at me, tell me what do you see? I love myself.
Oh my god. The antithesis of you. Kendrick is celebrating self-love and self-acceptance. He encourages others to embrace themselves as they are, as he is learning to do himself.
Bomb in the street, gun in the hood, mob of police, rock on the corner with a line full of fiend and a bottle full of lean, and I might wanna scream,
Crazy, what you gonna do?
Lift up your head and keep moving. Turn the mic up.
Punch it.
It's the fashion police, I wear my heart on my sleeve, let the runway start. You know the miserable dealer company. What do you want from me and my skies? Everybody lack confident, everybody lack confident. How many times my potential was anonymous? How many times the city making me promises? So I promise this nigga,
I love myself.
I want you looking at me.
That's
tell me what do you see?
I love myself.
I saw a lot of Outkast and Andre 3000 comparisons to this song, especially when the original single was released before the rest of the album. I feel like I'm going to have to check out Andre 3000 at some point because he keeps popping up on these things, and Outkast seems like a hip-hop classic I should listen to as well.
I went to war last night. With a automatic weapon, don't nobody call a medic.
Kendrick said he wrote I as an uplifting message for his imprisoned friends, but he also wrote it for himself to keep negative thoughts at bay.
Killing music, not on my time, man. We can say that shit for the streets.
Oh my god.
We can say that shit is for the kids, bro. The judge make time. You know that. The judge make time, right?
Oh my god.
The judge make time, so it ain't shit. It shouldn't be shit for us to come out here and appreciate the little bit of life we got left, dog. On the dead homies, Charlie P, you know that, bro. You know that. I promised Dave I never used the phrase fuck nigga. He said think about what you saying. Fuck niggas. Well, this is my explanation straight from Ethiopia. N-E-G-U-S. Definition, royalty. King royalty. Wait, listen. N-E-G-U-S. Say it with me. Or say no more. Black stars can come and get me. Take it from Oprah Winfrey. Tell her she right on time. Kendrick Lamar, by far, realest sneakers alive.
Wow, I learned something. Wait, it says album version. I don't know if there's another version, but I love that for you, it was like all about self-hatred. And then I is just all self-love. I mean, he broke up a fight or a potential fight, I guess, and gave this whole speech. The duality on Damn makes so much more sense with this. Like, I feel like this was him testing the waters, right? And then flipping everything. Okay, last song, 12 minutes long. Oh my goodness. Buckle up, I guess.
The ghost of Mandela, hope my flow stay propelling. Let these words be your earth and moon, you consume every message. As I lead this army, make room for mistakes and depression. And with that...
Oh, and you can totally see the growth, like, from you to I. Oh, and the duality in To Pimp a Butterfly by, like, the title itself. Why would you pimp a butterfly, you know? But from you to I, he's also growing. Oh my god, I can't wait to dive into this.
The ghost of Mandela, hope my flow stay propelling. Let these words be your earth and moon, you consume every message.
I think Mortal Man is the foil to the track Savior in Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. There is a lot to be said about legacy, about leadership, and how everyone you look up to is still human. Will you stand by them in even the worst light?
Look to your left and right, make sure you ask your friends. When shit hit the fan, is you still a fan? Want you to love me like Nelson, want you to hug me like Nelson. I freed you from being a slave in your mind, you're very welcome. You tell me my song is more than a song, it's surely a blessing. But a prophet ain't a prophet till he asks you this question. When shit hit the fan, is you still a fan? You be immortalized without your life being expired. Even though y'all share the same blood, is it worth the time?
Celebrity worship is an intriguing concept. Even an average person can be given credibility and power overnight. It doesn't mean that they will always be right, or that you should always stand by them. Your heroes are not your saviors. Though at this time, Kendrick seemed to have a bit of a savior complex.
What kind of bridge did they burn revenge in your mind when it's mentioned? How many leaders you said you needed, then left them for dead? Is it Moses, is it Huey Newton, or Detroit Red? Is it Martin Luther, JFK, shooter, you assassin? Is it Jackie, is it Jesse? Oh, I know it's Michael Jackson. Oh, when shit hit the fan, is you still a fan? When shit hit the fan, is you still a fan? That nigga gave us Billie Jean, you say he touched those kids? When shit hit the fan, let me ask this question, nigga.
I remember you was conflicted, misusing your influence. Sometimes I did the same. But while my loved ones was fighting a continuous war back in the city, I was entering a new one. Just because you wore a different game color than mine doesn't mean I can't respect you as a black man. Forgetting all the pain and hurt we caused each other in these streets. If I respect you, we unify and stop the enemy from killing us. But I don't know. I'm no mortal man. Maybe I'm just another nigga. Shit, and that's all I wrote. I was gonna call it another nigga, but it ain't really a poem. I just felt like it's something you probably could relate to. Other than that, now that I finally got a chance to holler at you, I always want to ask you about a certain situation, about a metaphor actually. You spoke on the ground. What you mean by that? What the ground represent?
The ground is gonna open up and swallow the evil.
Right.
That's how I see it. My word is born. I see, and the ground is a symbol for the poor people.
Right.
The poor people is gonna open up this whole world and swallow up the rich people. Because the rich people gonna be so fat and they're gonna be so appetizing. You know what I'm saying? Wealthy, appetizing. The poor gonna be so poor and hungry.
Eat the rich.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be, there might be some cannibalism out this month. They might eat the rich. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so let me ask you this then. Do you see yourself as somebody that's rich or somebody that made the best of their own opportunities?
That's a good
I
question.
see myself as a natural born hustler, a true hustler in every sense of the word.
Tupac has been mentioned so much in Kendrick's albums that I really feel like I have to visit his discography. To emphasize his significance in his life, Kendrick almost called the album To Pimp a Caterpillar, which could be shortened to Tupac. He was his leader, and now he's gone. Now he has to think for himself and be a leader for others.
Exhibit maximum strength. And that's right now, while you a teenager, while you still strong, while you still want to lift weights, while you still want to shoot back. Because once you turn 30, it's like they take the heart and soul out of a man, out of a black man in this country. And you don't want to fight no more. And next time it's a riot, it's going to be like bloodshed, for real. I don't think America know that. I think America think we was just playing. It's going to be some more playing, but it ain't going to be no playing. It's going to be murder. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like Nat Turner, 1831, up in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's going to happen.
I wanted to read one last thing to you. It's actually something a good friend had wrote, describing my world. It says, the caterpillar is a prisoner to the streets that conceived it. Its only job is to eat or consume everything around it. Although the butterfly and caterpillar are completely different, they are one and the same. What's your perspective on that? Pop. Pop. Pop.
Oh my god. Wow. Wow. Yeah. What a masterpiece. I don't even know what to say right now, but definitely going to be diving more into this, and I feel lightheaded. And And I just want to give a big thank you for your support on my channel this far. I don't really know what's next. I know everyone has been really looking forward to Pimp a Butterfly, so I guess we'll see. If you like my first listen and my interpretation of the album, then I would really appreciate if you checked out my new Patreon. I launched it just a couple days ago. I'm really excited about it. It's just a place for me to offer you some backstage stuff and build a little bit more of a community, which I'm really looking forward to. So, not necessary, of course, but truly appreciated. And even if you can't spare just $1, I mean, how much $1 cost? No, but just watching my videos and leaving a comment, especially leaving a comment. Please leave a comment. I love reading comments. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So thank you, be safe, and be kind.